Alright, yeah, it's kind of filming pretty good with the lights. So this thing I've been having trouble with this thing starting and running for the last, I'm gonna say day and a half. Hour-wise, I must have been messing with this thing for 4 hours by now, at least. Okay, it started with the thing didn't want to start. It was backfiring out of the carburetor. We found out that that's because this wasn't getting power to open the anti-backfire solenoid to let the gas in. Got that out of the way. Okay, then I was able to jump start it with the jumper, no problem. Okay, but still couldn't do nothing with the key. You go to try to start it with the key, I was getting nothing. Nothing. I could hear the key turning the backfire valve on. I could hear this here working, you know, and I could even hear the solenoid clicking, you know, making a sound. And usually when a solenoid just makes a clicking noise but it don't start, that usually means that it's a bad solenoid. So I switched out the solenoid. Nothing. So I said, well, maybe that's a bad solenoid. So I tried another solenoid. It still didn't want to go. So then I tried a different key switch, even. Because, you know, sometimes they go bad. Nothing. The battery that was on here, which is right here, it's a die-hard gold. The engine runs off of it. It opens the solenoid and everything. Was registering like 12.5 volts. More than enough to start and run this engine. Okay? I finally said, for the heck of it, let me put this battery on and see what happens. I put this battery on, and now all of a sudden, see it? It's starting right up and running. So what the heck is this? Let's do a check, let's do a read on this battery and see exactly what we were getting voltage wise. Because this one was a real head scratcher. Did I mention I even replaced the starter? I even tried swapping out the starter. That's not even the original starter anymore. It's got a different solenoid, it's got a different starter. It's got a different battery. This battery had enough juice because it was opening and closing the backfire valve. And when I did a read on it, it said what it needed to say. You need a battery to be over 12.5 volts, typically. 12.5 volts, dead on. So that battery is good. Anything under 12.4, because really 12.4, like 12.39 is weak. 12.5 is still a good battery. So I don't know what the heck was going on, but for this engine and this machine, this battery was too weak to do what needed to be done to get that engine running. So I'm gonna have to use that battery, but I'm gonna have to swap the I'm gonna have to put a longer negative in because it's not long enough to let the battery sit in properly. The positive one, it looks like we're fine, and then I'll be okay. But I've never had that occur before. I know on the V-Twins, they call for a higher crank amp battery. This is a higher crank amp battery though. This is a 340 at 12.5 volts. And this is also a 300, so this one's a little less. It's a year and a month old. Now let's just see, for the heck of it, what the reading is on this one. 13.0, so way over the mark. This one's way healthier. So evidently, because this battery was sort of on the line, you could say, not really, because on the line is more like 12.4, you know, 12.3, you're getting weak. But you know, in the 12.4s, it usually would still start the engine. This one was at 12.5. We'll call that on the line. This battery should still hopefully be good for one of the smallest single-cylinder machines. This one had a lot more going on with it. You know, it's a V-twin, number one, so they need more cranking amps. It's got a voltage regulator. Most of the engines I work on don't even have that, so that is added juice that it takes. And then, I mean, yeah, it's got an electric PTO rather than a manual, so that takes more juice. But other than that, it's basically the same. I mean, oh yeah, it's got an hour meter. It's got a voltage meter. A lot of them have that. And then it's got the safety switches. So it's got a couple extra things. A fuel pump. I don't know. Fuel pumps are... No, those don't run off electric. Those are vacuum operated. But, no, I don't know. That was really weird. So, yeah, I got to get a longer negative lead, which I have. Swap that in. And then we're good to go. Add a little more oil. Top that off. And then, of course, you got your headlights. But that's enough, too. And then we're good mechanically. I'll test the deck and drive tomorrow, but I know it drives. I'm pretty sure I already tested the deck too. So mechanically we're there. It's all tune-up from here on forward. This tire needs air. The blades are gonna need sharpening. It's gonna need that plastic piece put back on. This scalp wheel is gonna need a little help. The seat's gonna need a little bit of help. It's just gonna need an overall mechanical help. The front guard is going to need help. The majority of it now is cosmetics. We're at cosmetics now. But that was just really weird. I've never had one where the battery was still in, you know, working range, but it didn't have enough power to go. So it was a good thing I had a spare and I was able to check it, because that's all it was. So we figured it out. That's the good news. She's a runner. Thanks for watching.